guys, it's Reagan, and today I'm here to do my book lover Christmas gift guide. This is a one-stop shop video to help you find the perfect gift for yourself or the book lover in your life. So, without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump right in. The first few things I'm going to talk about are not going to be actually books, but instead bookish related items that might be a nice thing to break up the books that a lot of book lovers tend to get for Christmas. Not to say that they don't like getting books, but this might be good stocking stuffers or just gifts in general to kind of vary up the gifting, if you will. First things I'm going to talk about are going to be these like Funko Pop little doll things. These particular items have been popular for a long time, but they're great because this particular company makes little Funko, little figurines of all different types of characters from a variety of different fandoms. So you could really cater this gift to what your person likes the most, which makes them really fun. And they're great little things to adorn one's bookshelf with. You can get these on Amazon. You really can get them anywhere. So they're also really great last minute gifts if you have 2-day Prime shipping. So this is the first one. The next items are a few things from Etsy. The first set of items are these guys here. They're kind of hard to show off, but they're basically just these beautiful little, like Harry Potter themed potions. I have a Polyjuice potion, I have Floo powder, and then I also have, I can never say this, but Verite serum. These little guys back there were handmade. My boyfriend actually got them for me for my birthday because he knows I like bookish things. And he got them on Etsy. I will link the Etsy store down below for you, but they have all different types of Harry Potter potions. They're all handmade. They're really, really pretty, and you shake them up and there's like glitter inside and there's little charms. So these might be like a really, really fun gift for the Harry Potter lover in your life, because they're just one of those really nice bookish collectibles that if you're like a real fan, you totally know what they are, but at first glance you might not totally get that they're even from a book because they're just really, really cool. And the last bookish item I'm going to talk about is again from Etsy, and they're going to be bookish literary candles. And these, there's a whole bunch of shops that make these on Etsy, but you can get candles that are inspired by books themselves or just like the smell of books or libraries in general, which can be really fun. I have two here from two different stores. The first one I have here is inspired by The Tempest by William Shakespeare, and it's one of my favorites. It smells so good, and it's by Novelly Yours on Etsy. And then I also have this guy here, it's Dead Snow, and it's by Milk Jelly and Company. So these are two just Etsy candle shops that make these literary candles. And you know, there's just like a fun, good smelling thing they can, you know, smell while they're reading the other books they got for Christmas. So yeah. Now let's just go ahead and jump into the books themselves. I'm going to be recommending books from a variety of different genres. You can definitely pick and choose based on the person you're shopping for's interests, basically. The first book I'm going to talk about is a great historical fiction recommendation, and that's going to be The Nightingales by Kristin Hannah. This is a beautiful World War II novel following two sisters. It's deeply moving. It's really fast-paced. It's a really great novel for anyone who likes to read but really prefers history or just like a wonderful family-driven sister-led tale. It's emotional. It's definitely more of a darker tale and probably more like leaning towards adult, but then again, I'll let you be the judge of that. But this is the first book I would totally recommend you buying for someone. Next up is kind of a broader recommendation, and that is if you have someone in your life that really loves to read classics, I recommend getting them maybe their favorite classic or a novel they haven't read in one of the beautiful editions that exist across all classics. This is Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen, and these are some of my absolute favorite editions. This is the vintage classic edition, but there's also really great other editions. There are the Penguin hardcover, softcover classic editions, as well as those vibrant neon ones they also have. There's a lot of really great choices, but perhaps buying just a classic in a really pretty, maybe a higher end edition will be a nice, you know, a nice extra for their bookshelf. Next up, I'm going to move into middle grade, and the first book I'm going to recommend is Fablehaven by Brandon Mull. This is a tale that just follows, again, siblings. It's full of adventure and magic, and it's just a whole bunch of fun. I enjoyed this as an adult. So if the story feels like it matches someone you're shopping for, don't be turned off by the fact it's technically for children, because it's a really, really, really fun story. That honestly I feel like anyone would really enjoy reading. It's just really clever, and Brandon Mull has a really great way of writing, so Yes. And the next middle grade book I'm going to recommend is Brown Girl Dreaming by Jacqueline Woodson. This is a novel I literally just finished, and this is a book I literally recommend for anyone and everyone to read. It's a beautiful story written in verse, and it just follows our author's experiences growing up as an African-American young girl, both in the South and in the North in the 60s and 70s. It's a really beautiful family story that I enjoyed immensely, so I feel like this is an important story that I feel a lot of people would really, really enjoy. Next up is for the fantasy lover in your life, and that's going to be The Black Prism by Brent Weeks. This is a great fantasy series, so if someone really loves Game of Thrones or The Name of the Wind or Mistborn, this would be a really great extension for them to also like dip their toes into fantasy-wise. It's just a really fast-paced action multi-perspective fantasy novel that has a really cool complex magic system and lots of political intrigue. So if you know someone who loves fantasy, or even just loves the Game of Thrones TV show and they're in a lull and they need something to entertain them while they're waiting for the next season, this could be a really great series to give them. It's really easy to dive into. It's a lot of fun. And the last few books I'm gonna go to are all YA for your YA lover in your life, and they're to me just like no-brainer books. Like the next 2 books I'm gonna talk about are books that if they like reading, they're probably definitely gonna like these books because they're just so universally really good. The first one is Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. This is a well-loved book, so if you know someone in your life who really likes fantasy, loves to read, and hasn't read this yet and doesn't own it, definitely go out and get it for them. It is a YA fantasy book following a group of characters trying to do the impossible heist, break into a place that no one has broken into before. It has such a diverse cast of characters, so many fun personalities. It's incredibly entertaining and just very complex as well. Highly would recommend. This is a book that has, I don't know if I've ever heard anyone who doesn't like this book, to be honest. I just feel like this is a very safe bet to pick someone up for Christmas. Next up, I feel like, is a science fiction version of Six and Crows in terms of it's highly entertaining, very addicting, and that is Illuminae by Jay Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. This is a fast read too. It's a very unique book. It's told in a very interesting format, which is basically it's told through a whole bunch of files. It's just a great science fiction tale, again full of action and adventure, has great characters, a lot of people to identify with, and it's just a whole lot of fun, and honestly just a really great way to get someone into reading that maybe doesn't read all the time but does like to read. This is a book they can easily fall into. Guaranteed. And last is a YA book for the person in your life who in general might just enjoy this, but perhaps they read YA, they've already read Illuminae, Six of Crows. This is a great book that's kind of under the radar, at least in my opinion, and that is Three Dark Crowns by Kendare Blake. This is another YA fantasy book that follows 3 sisters that have 3 different types of magical powers on this island, and they have to kill the other 2 off to gain the throne. It's an amazingly interesting world. It's super complex, super entertaining, and the characters are just so interesting to read from. It's one of my current favorites. I've talked about it a lot recently, and I just feel like this is a great gift for anyone in your life who you know loves YA and loves fantasy and has maybe read some more of the larger, wider, more popular YA titles. This is a great book to get them as an extension to the other titles they've already read because it's so, so good. Alrighty guys, that is my holiday bookish gift guide. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you soon with another video soon. Goodbye!